About 3 years ago, I started making a video series called Coming to Terms with Activism. I got 2 videos in, but was very frustrated with my video equipment at the time, and I was not happy with how it was looking, so I stopped working on the videos. I've since improved my situation and my setup, and I want to continue, and I'm going to redo the first set of videos before going on to other ones. So without further ado, here are my videos about coming to terms with activism. Right, this series is about literal terms, like things that people hear when they're talking about activism, or people might, be listening while other people are talking about activism, and they might hear something, that just doesn't sound right to them. And this series of videos is catered more towards, people who are privileged. The ultimate example of this might be a cisgender straight white guy, and we'll explain, all of that. If any of you don't understand what all of that meant, we'll get to that later in the series as well. But if you want to be a good ally, but maybe you find yourself flinching at some of the terms that are said, that's why I'm making these video series. You might hear things that maybe it gives you a bad gut reaction, and maybe you start fighting over word choice, over trying to listen and be supportive of what's being said. Look, I've been there. I've heard terms in the past that I didn't get, and I was like, that's just ridiculous. Why are they saying these things? Or maybe you've heard yourself saying, well, why are they saying that? It just harms the movement, or something like that. It just doesn't sound right. It's going to drive people away. And that really doesn't help anything, because there are reasons why these people are using the terms that they use. And this intro video is specifically meant to help you understand how you should react in those situations in general. When you find yourself hearing something and having that gut reaction where it's just like, that's just insane, I don't understand that, why are they talking like that? And I'm going to explain how I've learned to deal with these things when I hear things that are contrary to my worldview and that I don't understand. And, instead of banging it out on my keyboard to try and explain my gut reaction and why I think this isn't making sense, what I like to do in these situations is just take a step back. Go away from the conversation. If you're on Facebook, maybe put notifications on the thread, and don't even make a response to the thread. Just put notifications on so that you can have it there and you can know where you can go back to later on in the day once you've taken your step back and think about things a little bit. Do research about the terms that are being said. Find out the context in which they are given. Think about why the people are saying the things that they are saying. Try to think of the things from the other person's point of view, because their life experiences might be much different than yours. And so if you try and put yourself in their shoes, it's very hard to do so when you have layers of privilege and you don't necessarily understand what certain things might be that you're hearing. But just try to have a little bit of empathy for them and try to understand where they're coming from. And the simple act of having empathy for others will do you a lot of good when you're trying to be an ally. And I'm not saying in this video series that you have to agree with everything that every activist says at the end of the day. You still may disagree, and that's fine. We don't have to agree on 100% of everything to be good advocates for social change. But even if you don't agree, maybe just taking the time to take a step back and to figure out why it is that the people are saying these things that are giving you that bad gut reaction, you might just get an understanding of where they're coming from, and just maybe try and focus on those issues where you do agree, while trying to understand, okay, well, maybe I'm not going to make such a big deal about this because now at least I understand where it's coming from. In the coming days, weeks, and months, I'm going to be making more videos about the terms that I've heard or the terms that I've seen others have had bad reactions to, and even some where I have helped people get over that hump where they hear something and they're like, well, that's ridiculous. And I said, no, but think about it this way. Take this other point of view and try to consider it this other way. And they were like, you know, you have a good point. And they've came around on those issues. So please remember to like this video. Please subscribe to the channel if you like these series. I also have a Patreon, patreon.com/liberaldan, that you can go to if you want to support videos like this. If you become the producer level or above, you are going to get to vote on what you want to see next when I give those options to the supporters. So I could definitely use your support, but the most important thing you can do, and it doesn't cost you anything, subscribe to the channel. Get me to 1,000 viewers so I can start monetizing the videos here and start making the channel better. So again, thank you very much for watching, and you have a great day.